Fly against Czech in a battle of two very strong players. If Fly can manage a victory in the very tough Night Elf against Orc matchup, he will knock 4Kings out of the playoffs and put Mouse Sports into the playoffs. Game 1 is on Twisted Meadows. The Demon Hunter tries to get an early grunt kill, but he doesn't manage to get anything out of it. Later in the game, the Blade Master chasing down the Demon Hunter, and he doesn't get the killing blow in before the Demon Hunter hits the Moonwells. Czech is going for bears, and he gets the first one out and goes to creep his Goblin Lab. Next, he goes for the Goblin Merchant, but Flies there for the Creepjack. Usually with bears, you wait until you can mass a few bears before you fight, but Czech fights with only 3. It looks even, but then in a matter of moments, Czech has only 1 bear, and he has to town portal out. They fight again, and a surround on the Blade Master helps Czech out, but he can't finish it off. The bears are definitely more powerful than grunts or raiders, but they aren't superheroes. Czech recognizes the defeat and exits the game. Game 2 is cross positions on Turtle Rock. Again, some Demon Hunter harassment early, and again Fly manages to fight all of it off. Czech goes to creep the turtles outside of his base at tier 2, but he loses 2 archers in the process. But the Demon Hunter chases down the Blade Master, and he finally kills it with a mana burn. Czech gets the masked Druids of the Talon army ready to fight and heads into Fly's base. The positioning isn't good for Fly, neither are the health of his units. Most of them are at around half health or worse. He goes for a Demon Hunter kill, but the TC dies first and the Demon Hunter town portals out. Czech comes right back, and this time his Demon Hunter is staffed out just before town portal comes out on the Goblin Tinker. All 3 of Czech's heroes were in red health at that moment. Without a town portal, he probably loses the game. Czech secures victory with an expansion, and even with the Beastmaster surround, Fly gets dominated as Czech evens up the score to 1 game apiece. The third map is Echo Wilds, and Czech starts creeping the middle with archers behind the trees. The Blade Master tracks down an archer and finishes her off. At tier 2 they fight again, and Fly hunts down 2 more archers, leaving Czech without any units. But Fly traps his Tauren Chieftain in his base and has to take some time to knock down a few trees to bust himself out. Fly goes on the offensive and tries to catch Czech before Cyclone comes out, but he doesn't manage to make it in time. They fight at the mercenary camp, and Fly quickly town portals out. They back off, and Fly creeps his Tauren Chieftain up to level 5, an absolutely critical advantage for him. But even with that hero, he can't finish off the game. The TC gets surrounded, and Fly has to break him out and continue to fight. Fly nearly loses his Tauren Chieftain before backing off. Czech follows him to the shop and tries to get the TC kill, but before he can finish it off, Fly gets 2 hero kills of his own and a level 6 Tauren Chieftain. Now he doesn't care if the TC dies, because if it does, it'll come right back with full health and full mana. With a level 6 TC out, Czech doesn't try to fight it off, and he gives Fly the victory. That means that Mouse Sports is into the playoffs while 4Kings are out. Next up is Who for the Beijing esports team against Hasu Obs from Mouse Sports. Neither of these players are the crown jewel of their team, but both teams still need strong performances out of them. Playoff seeds come into play, and every single point counts. The first map is Twisted Meadows, and Who starts out teching straight to tier 2. He goes in for some Acolyte harassment, but he doesn't manage anything. At tier 2, Who comes back with some Wyvern and gets a few kills. Hasu Obs tries to creep his mercenary camp, but Who comes in for the Creepjack. He gets a Death Knight kill on top of it. And it's just simply army air dominance for Who, with enough Bat Riders to take out every gargoyle that Hasu Obs can make. Both players creep until they finally meet. The Bat Riders take out all but 1 gargoyle instantly. The Wyvern are left against the Destroyers, and the Wyvern have the advantage. It looks close, but Hasu Obs also does not have the hero advantage from a much less extensive creeping. The Death Knight falls again, and Who takes the first map. The next map is Secret Valley, and both players start off creeping very hard. Hasu Obs creeps out his expansion, while Who goes for the always important Fountain of Health. Who manages to get the other Fountain of Health while his Blade Master harasses Hasu Obs. This time it's a ground army from Who. He still gets a few Bat Riders to help against the air army of Hasu Obs. The first battle remains close, but the Death Knight has a town portal and save himself. An expansion goes up for Who, so as long as he doesn't screw up in the next few battles, he should be fine. His Bat Riders take out all the Destroyers, and a few well-placed stomps really hurts Hasu Obs, but the armies still remain relatively close. Stomp comes in for the Tauren Chieftain, and he nearly gets the list, but it's only the length of the invulnerability potion that stops him from the kill. Once it's over, the Lich is gone, and so is the game. Who wins in 2 maps. That loss means that Mouse Sports needs to win out to pass the Beijing esports team in the standings. That would mean that they would avoid facing SK or World Elite in the playoffs and get to face Go instead. Whoever Mouse Sports faces, Bet gets the other team, so obviously they want to win at least one of the next 2 matches to avoid having to play SK or World Elite. Next up is Swede against SAS. Swede has been a strong strong undead player for a long time. On the other hand, Sauce has yet to really peak well for a tournament. He's always been a very good player, but he hasn't really broken into that very top-tier level of players. The first map is Terranistan. Sass goes with the Beastmaster and creeps the Goblin Lab early. He puts too much damage on the creep and Sweet steals it. Sass gets this round, but a Quill breaks the Death Knight out, and he lives to fight another day. Sass wants the expansion, and Sweet knows it, so he scouts out the location and cancels it. Again, Sass tries to build the expansion, but Sass is on top of it. Sweet harasses at tier 2 and gets an archer kill, but he can't take down the expansion, even on the third try that Sass has. Sweet keeps on harassing and tries to focus the Beastmaster, but instead his Death Knight gets focused and he barely makes it out alive. The expansion finishes and walks over, but Sweet again tries to stop it. He doesn't manage to, but he does keep on delaying it. Finally, the expansion goes up and Sweet drops back to creep his own Expo. The two fight and it's Drides against Fiends. Sweet has the counter, but Sass has the economy. Sass harasses Sweet's base with the Hawk and uses it to buy Goblin Sapper and take out 2 Ziggurats. Sweet tries to take down the expansion, but at the same time another Sapper runs into his base, and fortunately his towers finish it off in time. Back at the battle, the Lich gets very low and almost makes it out of the battle, but the Beastmaster finishes it off, and Sweet has to town portal out. Another Sapper comes out from Sass, and he gets 2 Ziggurats and some Acolytes. Sweet cannot get an army over 50 food, and he loses the first game to Sass. Game 2 is cross map on Turtle Rock. Sweet gets his Death Knight surrounded early, and he doesn't manage to break out of this round. But this game, instead of going Fiends, he goes with Ghouls and attacks Sass early. The battle starts out even for both players as Sass slowly retreats to his base, but eventually the archers are gone and Sweet is still left with his hero and a few Ghouls in Sass's base. Again, Sass tries for the expansion, but Sweet goes after it with Ghouls, and this time he's not letting it finish. The early battle really hurts Sass, and despite his best efforts, he can never get his expansion up and mining. Sweet ties up the series, but Sass gets to choose the next map. It's Echo Isles, and the Death Knight's early harassment manages to slow Sass a little, but the big attack comes with a Creepjack at the Mercenary camp. It's a little too late, and Sass already has 5 skeletons to work with, so Sweet retreats. Again, Sweet has the opportunity to take a Creepjack, but he doesn't have the army to use it. Sass goes on the offensive in tier 2, and Sweet backs off until he's ready, and then he comes out with Ghouls and Gargoyles to force a town portal. Next up, it's Gargoyle Harassment, which is only decent, nothing special. Finally, the Ghouls come in, and there aren't enough Dryads to fight them off. Sass keeps on retreating, but finally he has to make a stand. The Ancient of Lore helps, but the army advantage is firmly in Sweet's hand. Sass does have an expansion with 3 Ancients of Lore pumping Dryads, but he loses a Panda. Then Sweet goes and takes out his Entangled Gold Mine, ending the economy advantage. It takes Sweet another minute to actually finish off Sass, but another Panda kill gives him the victory. That puts the clan war tied at 2 wins apiece. Stick around for part 3, which will start right after this one ends. You don't want to miss the 2 versus 2 or the top plays.